Welcome to the video tutorial of Sentence Ninja. My name is Barbara Fernandez, and I'm going to guide you through the basics of Sentence Ninja. Let's get started. Select player, and as you can see, you can add multiple players. I already have 2 players here. Let's tap on the Add Player button, and I'm going to go ahead and add my next player here. You simply enter the name. You can tap to add an avatar or add a student photo. I'm going to go ahead and pick an avatar. Now, over here, there's a setting called color-coded cue and colored lines. I'm going to go ahead and mark only colored lines. And this is something that you can come back and edit. And later on the activity, I'm going to explain what this means. Now, this app allows you to play up to 5 players at a time. Now, can I go ahead and play just 1 player? Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick display of just 1 player. Then I'm going to go back and play a multiplayer game. This is really useful if you have more than one child that needs to work on these skills. Now, before I proceed, I want to just quickly show you that there's a setting. We're going to go back to it later on. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Victor. Now, notice on this screen here, Victor's on level 1, which says here subject and verb. So I'm going to go click Start.
Drag the words to make a phrase.
Now, notice here that I have the words clown laughs.
Clown.
I just drag and
laugh.
drop. You get a reward.
Clown laughs.
Now, notice the ninja moved forward 1 space because I got it correct on the first try. Now, if I click sings, mommy, that is not a correct way of making this phrase. But if I go ahead and put mommy sings,
mommy sings,
then the player gets to correctly move to the next. You can always go back and try again if the student needs practice on that particular phrase. Now, before I continue on this level 1, which it was just for Victor, I want to go back here and do a 2-player activity so that we can showcase the different levels. You have Victor on level 1, and then you have GY on level 20. Now, if I click here to modify, I can take Victor to work from, we have group 1 phrases, subject, verb, verb, noun, or object, and I can take him to level 4 and save. Then I can go back and take a look at what GY is working on. And as you can see, Sentence Ninja has group 1 phrases, group 2 sentences, group 3 question format, group 4 negation, group 5 advanced sentences, and group 6 complex sentences. Now, I think I'm going to go ahead and put in something like advanced sentences so you guys can take a look at what that looks like. You can always adjust this, and the player automatically gets prompted if he gets 10 correct in a row. Let's click Start so that you can see how it works with 2 students, 2 players at the same time.
Drag the words to make a sentence.
Notice the difference here. GY, he gets these colored lines at the bottom to help him as we are working on this particular phrase sentence type. So I can go ahead and match green with green. Paul is eating
an
apple
slowly.
And then you have the period at the end.
Paul is eating an apple slowly.
The sentence.
Drag the words to make a phrase.
Now it's Victor's turn. Notice that Victor does not have the colored words on here. This is because when I was editing Victor's profile, I did not want to give him that extra help, that extra cue, because Victor maybe already practiced this 2-word phrase on his own. He was successful. Then I went back and removed this support, removed this cue to allow Victor his attempt at getting this level
desk
without any visual cues.
Teacher's desk.
Drag the words to make a sentence.
So as you can see, Sentence Ninja is wonderful at giving students the level of support they need to where they're at. If the student is needing the colors to help them learn how to make this type of sentence, you can do that. And speaking of students' level of support, there is a very basic setting on this activity screen. Here you can choose to display the hint button. So there is a hint button over here. If you tap on
Grandma
it,
and Grandpa
it automatically places one of the words on the correct position. If you turn off that display hint, the student won't be able to get started or use that as a support system. Now, auto progression goes to the next image automatically. This is really good for, students that are getting things somewhat correct. Now, you can turn that off if you want to stay on the screen and help the student practice to say the phrases out loud before moving to the next phrase. Display accuracy, notice here that this particular student has the accuracy 1 out of 1 correct. And then the last one is record correct answer. I'm going to turn it on so you guys can see what this looks like. So I put in the very first one.
are cooking Thanksgiving dinner today. Grandma and Grandpa are cooking Thanksgiving dinner today.
So now the app will prompt the student to record the phrase that he just created. This is amazing for them, not only to be able to read what they just put together, but also to practice saying this type of complex sentence and get practicing that expressive portion of their language skills. You can tap recording. We go ahead and record. Make sure you allow the microphone. And then you stop and you can play back so that the child can actually listen to how they actually said that word so that he can actually get some feedback on how they're producing that phrase.
Drag the words to make a phrase.
So now I'm going to click done and we're going to explore a different section of this application, which is the report center. On here, I can tap on the students and I can see, for example, Alice, which is one of the students on the profile. We can see that she's currently on level 4. She's practiced 2 times. And then we can see the levels. So she did level 1 and she mastered because she got at least 10 correct. Now notice that we jumped to level 3 and she only practiced 1 time. She is practicing, but she has not mastered. In order to master, you need to get at least 10 correct of that particular level. Now you could share this. We want to make sure that you verify you're adult to be able to share this. And let's preview what this report looks like. You get a report on how that student is working on all of the levels available on the application on a PDF that you can print, email, and share with the important parties, whether it is families or the teacher or anybody that is involved in this child's language and reading support. Now over here, we're able to modify the level. So we can see, for example, on the same setting, we can already adjust and prepare for the next section. Now, the third button is the reward system or one of the reward systems. Here, as the student is able to master each of the different groupings, they will get a belt just like as if they were ninja or doing one of the martial arts. So if they manage to master the entire group 1 phrases, they get 1 belt. Group 2, another belt. So this really keeps the kids motivated in practicing their language skills. What I'm going to go ahead and show you guys next as I pick and do a 3-player activity is the settings. Notice that here you also get the ability to modify the exercises. So just to show you guys the amount of content the app has, you can also have the presentation to display all of the levels at once. So you can select multiple levels for the children to practice, let's say levels 1 through 5 all together. So the app will, instead of focusing on one particular level, you mix and match different levels and display them randomly. Now let's go ahead and get started. We can see we have level 4, level 30, and I'm going to go ahead and put this next student at level 39. Let's
Drag
get started.
the words to make a phrase.
So Alice is going to take
Emma's
her turn.
flower. Emma's flower.
Now she could record.
Drag the words to make a
Now
sentence.
notice this, the second student, notice that his profile, his level, the color coding
Grandma
is
and
particularly
Grandpa
designed to his
are
needs.
cooking Thanksgiving dinner today. Grandma and Grandpa are cooking Thanksgiving dinner today.
Drag the words to make a sentence.
Now notice this here is level 39. Look at how much more complex this is. So I can
Melanie,
drag,
the flower
I'm just going to
held
drag some
and
random words here.
posed, took a picture by.
And if they get it wrong, the words get moved back so that the student can try again. You can always try the hint to get the student started. And when I tap done, then I get to see the accuracy. Notice that we just practiced here on the session. He was 0% accurate, but we only tried it once. So that is it. A big overview of Sentence Ninja that is available on all iPad devices on the App Store.